Get y'all's brackets ready. It's that time of the year that we put our dancing shoes on. Let's talk about all the storylines going into March Madness with James Young, basketball analyst for SportsGrid. Mr. Young, how you feeling, my man? It's that time of the year, baby.
Hey, you said you were on 6 cups of coffee. I'm on 3. May not be enough. No rest for the weary, but it's honestly, bro, it's the best time of year.
Yeah. All right. So let's get straight into this because there's a lot of people talking about the committee, what they should have done, what they shouldn't have done. Before we get into the details of it, do you think the committee got it right with the 68 teams?
I think they got a lot wrong. I mean, you can look at the top of the board with the fact of Auburn, a team that lost 3 of the last 4 games, a team that got passed by Duke in the net, now the number 4 ranked team. You can look at the fact that even Florida having the best weekend winning the SEC tournament maybe should have been the overall number 1 seed. Then you start getting to the seed lines. No bigger case to look at than a team in Gonzaga, a team that's an 8 seed that did not have the quad 1 wins, but their net was 10. And they are an 8 seed and a team like, to me, Oregon, vastly overrated. It's a 5 seed. But the biggest story by far is Carolina.
Yeah.
This is the Carolina team. Only 2 wins against the field, including once against UCLA that basically Mick Cronin's team gave away. A UNC team that, did not pass the eye test to me. UNC team that when they needed it most, choked up a second half lead to Duke.
Yeah.
Then went and played without Cooper Flagg in the ACC tournament and was down 24 points in the first half. So to me, you look at other teams like a Boise State that had a high net, that went and scheduled teams on the road and non-conference. You can look at a team like West Virginia. They talk about DeVries getting hurt, but this team went to Fog Allen and won. A team that beat Iowa State, had more wins than North Carolina. And I think that's where the problem is what are we basing it on? Are we basing it on the net? Are we basing it on strength of schedule? Are we basing it on KenPom? Or what are we basing it on? Because I got to be honest with you, I felt like depending on the team, the target moved.
Yeah. And because of that, a lot of people are talking about UNC's AD and his involvement on the selection committee. So do you think it's a conflict of interest to have UNC's AD on the selection committee?
Let me tell you something, folks. I understand that he has to recuse himself, right? That he can't be part of the thought process of Carolina. But Carolina just got $106,000 to make the NCAA tournament. Now, Carolina could shut a lot of people up, including yours truly, because I don't think they deserve to be in, by going and making a run. Kind of like what VCU did with Shaka Smart in 2011, what people didn't think his team deserved to be in. But the case is this. They're wildly inconsistent. They don't play good basketball at times. They don't defend. And the metrics kind of lined up. If you look at Bracket Master, there's a site that I forget it's called, where they look at all the brackets, everybody's bracket. Only 20 out of 111 had Carolina in the tournament.
A lot of people upset. Twitter, a lot of things trending on Twitter today talking about that snub and why is UNC in there. And it would really suck for them if they go one and done. Then just imagine what people are going to be saying on Twitter then or on social media. Before we talk about like your March Madness dogs and your diaper dandies and then your bracket busters, what do you think about Rick Pitino's Red Storm's chances of winning it all?
Slick Rick the Ruler. I mean, what this guy has done time after time, stop after stop. What he has done. Remember last year when they lost to Seton Hall and he was kind of questioning his players? He flipped the script, going getting Davion Smith. Obviously, the improved play of Etchafor. Obviously, the improved play of R.J. Lewis. But it's the guy he got from across the water, Kadari Richmond, the star out of the Bronx, bringing him to the other side. And his play as being that Swiss Army knife that could do everything. When they got to a week before the tournament, I was telling people, if St. John's could avoid Duke and Auburn, I thought they could make a Final Four. And it's crazy because if they would have played Auburn, I would still take them. I think St. John's is going to the Final Four. I know Rick said we could go out first round. Tough game versus Omaha. They're sneaky good. But they can get on a roll. That second round matchup, which is going to be a dream for any coach, right? You got Rick Pitino and either Bill Self or Calipari on the other side. I think they find a way to get to the Final Four. Remember this. Their Achilles heel is shooting a three-point shot, only 32% from three. But do know only 2 teams in the last 25 years have made the Final Four shooting at less than 33% from three. And guess who was the head coach? That's right, Rick Pitino, 2 trips by Louisville.
Uncle Ricky looking good. And I just remember last year when he denied or turned down the invitation to go to the NIT tournament because he's like, hey, the portal's open. I got to hit the portal to bring guys in. He caught a lot of heat for that. But it's like, look at me now. Look, we're a 2-seed team that could potentially make it to the Final Four. All right, let's get your favorites, your overrated teams, your bracket busters. What's your bracket looking like, James?
Well, if you look at it, obviously I do like St. John's to make the Final Four. I already said it. My national championship is actually Houston. I think they are St. John's-esque. Like, to me, you got to be able to defend. You got to be able to have great guard play. You have to be able to have great coaching. You have to have great rebounding. And Kelvin Sampson has it just as good, if not better, than Rick does. You look at the fact that I don't believe Auburn's going to have it. I think the Big East is going to surprise some teams. Okay, and it's those 2 teams in the 8-9 game, right? It's Connecticut and it's Creighton. Creighton with the big man Ryan Kalkbrenner, 4-time defending Defensive Player of the Year, is a type of player that's going to give Janai Broome fits. And then you look at UConn, okay? Forget Ball, forget McNeely. It's Caravan, it's Diarra, it's Johnson. And can Dan Hurley galvanize his team? Talk about after they lost on the Big East that they had a long film session to get things straightened out. I think they can make a definite run. When you talk about sleepers, you got to start with the Drake Bulldogs. He may have lost his rap battle with Kendrick Lamar, but these Drake Bulldogs, I think, are going to get it done. Drake takes out, to me, Missouri, and I think they could take out Texas Tech. Really good 30-3. People need to know about them. Next team to look at, McNeese State. They were a popular pick last year. I know Will Wade's team got right out of town. They're great defensively. They have great effective field goal percentage defense. I think they take out Clemson, and I wouldn't be shocked. Ready for this? If Purdue loses to Grand Canyon, if they keep their turnovers down, should pick them off. My other sleeper, I just mentioned them. It's UConn. I think they're getting disrespected at the 8 seed. I know they're inconsistent, but I think they absolutely can make a run.
James, when it comes time to talk March Madness, they not like us. Way to bring the energy, my friend. Appreciate you coming on.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.